York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
Gunshots is going off, man, because the Knicks beat the Hawks. What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And what do you know? Our Knicks, man, our beloved Rooks, had a day today, man. We showed off. You know what I said before, right? Like, anytime we play the Hawks, I don't care what we play them. I don't care if it's summer league, preseason. I don't care if we playing them in bowling, badminton, ping pong. I want to beat the Hawks. I want the smoke, and that's exactly what the Knicks did today. The Knicks brought the smoke to the Atlanta Hawks, beating them 104-85 with Quentin Grimes stepping up once again. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Sims comes out with 13 rebounds and 6 points on the day, and McBride gives you 19 points and 4 assists as well. Also 11 points from Obi Toppin. And, quickly came back, didn't shoot well, but he was dominated up today. So, there was a lot to celebrate today, man. The Knicks have a winning season in Summer League, and we're going to break it down for you guys, all right? But before we even break it down, let me introduce our guests, all right? So, first and foremost, I've been following this kid on Twitter for a while. He has a lot of good video breakdowns, and I noticed he has an eye for this stuff. And you definitely have to follow him on Twitter. A really good follow. It's my man Ariel from the Strickland. What's going on, Ariel?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate the kind words too.
Exactly. I appreciate having you on as well, man. And of course, you already know who this is. It is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building.
That's right. Damn right he's in this building, all right? And shout out to everybody who's rocking with the KOT show, man. Gunshots in the air. Shout out to Big Reeker. Shout out to Sean BK. Shout out to Jeannie. Shout out to Adam Johnson. Shout out to Cuts, Knicks, and JT Reddick, who's always here early holding down. And also my guy Sherwin M, who's rocking over there in the comment section, man. And, yeah, Sherwin, great question. Are you guys going to stop this Cooper talk now? Stop the talking, man. Stop it. Who got the better second round pick? Who? We did.
Clearly.
Clear winner. So let's break it down today, man. So listen, man, this game started off. This when they say this game is a game of runs, today was definitely one of those game of runs. The Knicks started off 9-0 run from Grimes to start the game. All 3-pointers off your head. What did you see from Grimes today, Ariel? Did you like his game today?
Yeah. He got more comfortable. I feel like we saw it last game. He was definitely dribbling the ball more, making plays. That's one thing that kind of stood out to me a little bit more today. Was he definitely was creating a little bit more for others, which is something that we didn't see a lot of in the first couple of games. So that's a big positive, along with the jump shot that we all know he's capable, of hitting.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything to add to that, Ryan?
I mean, Ariel pretty much said everything right there. It seems like as Summer League went on, he found his rhythm more, and he's knocking in more jumpers. He's also creating off the dribble, which is also a positive thing. And it seems like, there's more confidence in his game. He's more confident in his handle. And I think that's a pretty good sign going into the season. And yeah, Grimes he's really stepped it up, compared to how he started out the Summer League.
It's night and day. I talked about this before. I first noticed it when a few games ago when he waved quickly off in the fourth quarter. That was the first sign to me that this man was growing some during the game. I was like, okay, fourth quarter, game on the line, you wave quickly off, you go to the hole and get like an and one situation. I was like, okay, Grimes, I see you. Yeah, and of course, I read some things that said he's gotten some words of wisdom from Anthony Hardaway, who he's training with over in the off season. Plus who else? Why am I forgetting his name right? Reggie Bullock. They actually share an agent, Reggie Bullock. And also Allen Houston, who I keep saying, man, their offensive game, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Allen Houston, the way he does the 1 or 2 dribble pull-ups. They all kept telling him to shoot, and it seems like he took it to heart, especially in that first quarter when he goes 9-0. and just finishes the game with 26 on the night. Another great performance from Grimes, man, for real. and also defensively, he's done well too, and he's just a complete player. And also too, have you noticed the way he's been going to the hole lately? Because for me, ever since I criticized how he has no left hand and he doesn't go to the hole enough, he's been going to the hole more. And then he actually went to his left today. He had a little hezzy move today. I mean, he finished with his right, but listen, he had a hezzy move when he drive left hard and finished strongly, and it kind of surprised me. I was like, all right. I wonder if people were noticing that, and he worked on it, and after the second game. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just saying that I did notice that during the game. Even though he did, finish with his right, I think, the fact that he's at least showing that he can go left would, be a big positive for him going into the season. Teams will know that if they force him left, he can go left if possible.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a dude who's like his first instinct is to like pull up and shoot, which makes sense. His jump shots, looks good. It probably feels good, but definitely seeing him get to the basket more is something that I was looking out for. Because when I watched his college games, I watched probably 10 or 12 of his college games. Getting to the basket wasn't something that he was like confident in. Even when he would get the lane, you see him stop and pull up. Like you mentioned, the Allen Houston 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull up.
Mm-hmm.
So every time he's driving to the basket, it's a positive sign for his development, because if he doesn't have to be like Derrick Rose driving to the basket. If he can just add a couple of if he can just add a couple of rim drives a game, that makes it easier for him and for everyone else around him.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think somebody talked to him, man, because I definitely noticed a difference between the first 2 games, and these last 3. The evidence is just overwhelming to me. Keep it up, Grimes, man. It's so hard because this team, wow, like we have so many weapons right now, and it's you want to hold your expectations a little low because it's like, oh, it's only summer league, but like you looking at these games and like, man, they look like legit weapons. They don't feel Kevin Knox-ish. Not to play on Kevin Knox. It doesn't feel that way where Kevin Knox was having the game and then it didn't translate. It just the how efficient they are, how in the moment they are when the game is playing. Like they don't seem to back down from a situation.
When looking at summer league, I try to focus less like on makes and misses, because obviously you want to see the guys make shots. Like obviously IQ going, what was it, like 3 for 18? Nobody wants to see that, but
no,
it's more like what transfers for the most part from summer league to the actual NBA level is the skills. So like maybe Deuce isn't gonna shoot as well, but you can see that he has the pull-up dribble ability. Same thing with Grimes. With Sims, maybe he's not gonna look as dominant against actual NBA centers,
right?
But you can see that the athleticism still pops out on the floor. So it's more so the skills that transfer over, less so for me at least the makes and the misses, because in a 5-game sample, dudes can get hot, dudes can get cold. It's too small of a sample.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like I was kind of looking like how he was making the baskets, especially considering there was like a chart that was going around that was it was demonstrating who hits the most pull-up jumpers in college, and McBride and Quentin were on the tops of the list. So I was specifically looking at that during the summer leagues because, considering that we didn't have a good offensive game last season when it came to the playoffs, like you kind of need guys who can do that. And it seems like as the games went on, both of those guys started to show that, hey, if the defense is on me, you can still get it. And that's the type of energy I like. That we can still get it energy. Am I alone in thinking that?
No,
most definitely.
Yeah, man. And let's talk about Grimes for a minute, man. Sharif Cooper, who? Sharif Cooper. Okay, show of hands. All right. Show of hands. And shout out to the $5 super chat, man. Fat Boy sends a $5 super chat, says the Grimes and McBride backcourt in a couple of years is going to be scary. with RJ and OB with IQ, our future looks amazing. Yeah, man. I was having a conversation with Corey about upside players versus win now players. And listen, man, we have so many players now who are on friendly contracts. It's really easy to see if there's a player becomes available. We can end up moving players like Burks or something and have a guy like McBride or Grimes step right into that role. Maybe not seamlessly, but quicker than than necessary if we went for a guy like Sharif Cooper or something. I don't know.
I think that's off the market right now. Sharif Cooper? Nah.
Nah.
Nah. I think what had happened was I think, McBride and those dudes, they watched our podcast where, we had Jake in the Paint on here, and he was talking about how the Knicks took a chance on Sharif Cooper. They was like, oh, word? Okay, we'll show you. We'll show you the next game and we'll show you that, if Sharif Cooper should have been drafted by the Knicks or not. But yeah, I think they shut down that noise.
Yeah, man, like Sharif Cooper had a horrible game. Now, allegedly, he had a stomach virus. But I think the name of that virus was McBride. He caught the McBride virus. It gets all in your guts. It causes mass turnovers, headaches, long sleepless nights. Yeah, that's what he caught. Like, he didn't get off the bench after the third quarter. But all jokes aside, they said he was sick. So, get well soon. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being biased, but I feel like McBride would have took his cookies anyway. But
yeah, even if he was healthy, it was clear that McBride was giving him fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell they took it personal a little bit. They weren't gonna let him show them up. You could tell there was a little bit of some animosity there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. That's why I think, like, when you lose, when some guys lose, and he's like, "Ooh, my leg," like, "Oh." Ooh, my wrist, my cramps. Like, coach, take me out. Like, that's the vibe I got. But I could be completely wrong and just be a biased Knicks fan. That could exactly be it.
Look at it. Look at it this way. Sharif Cooper, he has played well in the summer league. I think he led the summer league in assists.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and I think he was averaging almost 20 points a game. So the fact that McBride came in and shut him down like that is saying a lot.
Yeah, it's saying a lot. And go ahead, Ariel.
I was gonna say, for what it's worth, yeah, like Sharif he's been good in his own right. Summer league, he's been doing his thing, and he's been showing a lot of the skills that a reason why a lot of Knicks fans like him. I like him too, but the reason why a lot of people like him is just because he has that like playmaking ability. But yeah, he had a horrible game today though. Hopefully it was just because he was sick. But
yeah,
McBride definitely had a part in that.
Yeah, hopefully it's because he was sick, but I think it's if it was part McBride too. I'm just thinking, man, McBride shut him down. And we'll get more into McBride in a second. I see first caller is in the queue. Shout out to Jason M. First caller on the KOT show. Gunshots to Jason M. He's about to get in this queue right now. All right, what's going on? All right, Jason, you're now live on the KOT show. You gotta turn down the mute button a little bit. Get ready, okay?
You hear me?
Yeah, hit the KOT live button a few times and hit watch stream. You should be able to hear the commentators in the back. Say something, Ryan.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear Ryan? Say something, Ryan.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so I'm on the show?
Yep, you on the show. Can you hear me and Ryan?
Right. I hear you. I don't hear Jay Ellis though.
I am Jay Ellis.
Yeah, he is Jay Ellis.
You sound different. All right.
Do you hear Ryan? Do you hear Ryan?
Lower side.
Okay.
I hear it twice. Hold up. Let me.
Turn them. Yeah, you gotta mute. You gotta mute it.
Got it.
You gotta mute it.
I thought I muted it before, but I didn't mute it, and then I was still hearing you in the background. That was throwing me off.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you hit watch stream too, so you can hear the commentators as well.
Where do I see that? Where's watch stream at?
Do you see like little faces or like a little zoom? Hit that.
On the Discord, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see my face right next to my name.
All right, cool. All right,
not my face.
Not yeah. All right, no, sorry, it's all right. Good go. What's your question?
Not really a question. I was just gonna talk about the game. I I was so impressed by McBride this game. Like, I'm a big Sharif Cooper fan, and I wanted the Knicks to draft Sharif Cooper. I like McBride too, and I like McBride before the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this: I've never seen anyone defend Sharif Cooper the way McBride defended him today. And that includes Davion Mitchell, because I watched they played each other in college.
Oh,
Usually, when Sharif Cooper has a bad game, he struggles to finish at the rim, or he struggles shooting. But
yeah.
he usually always gets by his first defender like it's nothing. And he was not getting by McBride today. It was crazy to see.
Yeah, man. I think it's different at this level, man. Like, I think you know what it is too. Like, these guys did their homework. Like, they wasn't falling for head fakes. They was kind of like forcing the ball out of his hand early. So they wasn't going. So once you're not a jump shooter, you're not going to really. You're gonna play for that drive, man. So I feel like McBride played it smart, and he's been playing people tough all games. So I feel like at this level, if you're gonna play defenders, you gotta have a jumper, and that's just something that Sharif is missing. And I think it's partly why he didn't have a good game today. Besides the stomach flu and McBride just locking him down on defense, personally.
Yeah. Also, wait. So I can only hear you speaking, right? That's what you're saying because I didn't press watch stream.
Yeah, but they didn't say anything anyway. They kind of chilling in the background.
And the other thing I was going to say about Grimes, this will be the last thing I say.
Okay.
I don't think people understand the type of player Grimes is or will be in the NBA. Like, a lot of people keep saying they want to see him create more, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be an off-ball player. Like, he's going to be kind of like what Mikal, I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Mikal Bridges, but you see the role Mikal Bridges plays for the Suns?
Yeah.
Everything he does is off-ball. He catches the ball. He's not going to be the one setting the pick and roll, breaking off the guy off the dribble. But when you reverse the ball to him and he does a pump fake because the guy has to close out to him, that's when he's going to be able to drive and make the right decisions.
I like that comparison, man.
Yeah, I like that.
So, like, ideally, I mean, the other one would be, and this is another one I would really hope he gets it, is Desmond Bane, what he's been doing for the Grizzlies. It's the same type of thing where it's like, he plays off-ball and he could be an elite off-ball player.
I can see that too.
Yeah, and that's what I see for him. I mean, it's cool, all the creation's cute and all, but, I don't know if that's ever going to be really his game. I think his game is going to be an elite defensive guard who can shoot like crazy, and also can, like, when they try to take away the shot, he can then make something happen.
Now, I agree with you, and we've seen a little bit of that. I mean, the shot, he's had a little bit of shot creation, but like you said, it's not like some over-dribbling type of shot creation. It's been like simple drive and kick type of stuff, and that's what you expect from him. He's been doing that well.
Yeah, but the thing is, with this Summer League squad, we don't have, like, a great creator. Like, Quickly's trying, and he's doing okay, but, like, when he's playing with Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker and Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, he's going to get a lot more open shots where the ball's going to get kicked to him, and the defender's going to be closing out on him, and he got a quick release. So he's either going to get that three off, or he's going to be able to fake it and then drive and then do something else with it. But since the defense is already tilted, he's going to have the advantage already. He doesn't have to create the advantage himself.
Nah, I agree with you. And all I ask of him, if he's ever to face the Hawks in the playoffs and they put Trae Young on this man, he better take advantage of it. That's all I have to say. If he plays the way he did today, he will.
I don't know if he will in his first year.
Yeah, I mean, eventually. You're right.
Because I think he kind of, at least his first year, he's going to be very Reggie Bullock-like.
Yeah, absolutely. He might not even get that much time this year, considering we have Alec Burks and Quickly and Evan Fournier. It's going to be a lot for him to even break this rotation, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I feel like, I mean, it might not be this year, or it might not be at the deadline, but at some point we're going to have to make a consolidation trade. There's just too much depth on this team, and there's going to be players out of the rotation.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, man. And thank you for the call, Jason, man. Definitely.
Yeah, no problem. I'll get off now.
For sure. Really enjoyed your insights, for real.
Yeah.
All right. But yo, Jason is right, man. Jason's absolutely right. Like, at some point we're gonna have to move something, but it's a good problem to have. Go ahead, Ariel.
Yeah, I agree with basically everything he said. The only little thing I guess I'd tweak is the reason why Grimes showing any kind of flashes of creation, even if they're small or subtle, is that you want guys who can take advantage of a defense that's shifting already.
Right.
Part of the issue we saw with the Hawks and against the Hawks in the playoffs was that even when Julius was able to create an advantage and he'd swing the ball to a guy like Bullock wasn't able to make that next play that would really lead to the open bucket, whether that was just attacking closeout or the one dribble, two dribble pull up, or getting to the basket and making that next little pass. So I mean, yeah, we're never gonna see Grimes like be your point guard or the primary initiator, but you do those little flashes of playmaking are a real positive because those are the guys that are valuable. Even a guy like Michael Bridges, we saw that in the playoffs. He'd attack a closeout and then dump it off to Ayton or pull up for his little mid-range jump shot that he's developed. So it's valuable.
Yeah, absolutely right, man. Even the Hawks in general, like they don't have, they had Trae Young, who's a primary playmaker, but the other guys were at least able to make plays off the ball as well, and it proved valuable for us. Whenever you have multiple playmakers on a team, it's dangerous. So. I mean, you're absolutely right on that point, Ariel. Good point for sure.
And one last little thing too, it makes it harder to hide a guy like Trae on Grimes than it is to hide him on a guy like Bullock who can actually like dribble the ball, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't need that much more dribbling. We just need a little bit more dribbling than Bullock was giving us.
Yeah, it's a little bit more creation. It's not a huge difference, but every little bit counts.
Absolutely, every little bit counts. And shout out to the chat. Shout out. I see my boy Alex. Shout out to Alex in the chat, man. I see you, bro. Shout out to Alex the Tratacaster Trateros is in the chat. Shout out to you, man. Going to get you back on the show as well. Also, shout out to everybody else who's rocking with the KOT show. Robert Paris, Adam Johnson Jr. He says, I think McBride was trying to send a message to Trae Young through Cooper. I'm coming for you. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. He pretty much shot down Trae Young light. You know what I mean? So I'm with it, man. He's sending a message for sure. Hopefully they got that message. All right. And shout out to Joe Russo as well. And salute to the chat, man. I see more callers are coming in for the KOT show. But before we even get to the next caller, what's the biggest surprise? Has there been any surprises for you when it comes to McBride? McBride, Ariel. Has anything surprised you so far? I know you've watched them and broken down some tape.
Yeah, in terms of surprises, not necessarily. Maybe the amount of pull-ups he's hitting. He's hitting some tough ones from deep too. So I guess the 3-point pull-up shooting is probably the biggest surprise for me. Not that I didn't think he was capable of it, but he's been hitting some tough shots. Yeah, like he's been hitting some tough shots. And for the most part, he's been as advertised. People talked about his defense. I saw his defense in college. He's a monster. He's like a psychopath on that end. So yeah, he's been mostly as advertised. I'm kind of shocked he fell to the second round, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem. It's kind of crazy how like these two rookies, guys who were not in the lottery and a guy in the second round, is pretty much averaging 40 to 50 points for our summer league squad for like 2 or 3 games straight. Like, where does that happen at? Like, these Knicks, man, sometimes they get hit or miss in these the lottery, but I don't know. Over these last few years, we have to be like the best non-lottery drafters. Or one of the best non-lottery drafters in the past like 3 or 4 years or so. I don't know.
They gotta be up there. Memphis is probably up there too, but the Knicks have like getting Mitchell Robinson in the second round quickly at 25.
Yeah.
If Grimes and McBride and now Sims even pan out, then that's a lot of value to get outside of the lottery.
That's a lot of value, man. I even feel like ISO Zoe, I don't know what he did. I still feel like he's gotten drafted somehow, man. I don't know what he did or who he pissed off. But, I know he didn't play defense, but I didn't think he was, like, not in the NBA bad. Like, I feel like something happened there.
Yeah, something. No, just harp on what you're saying. Something had to happen because it's not even like he got picked up by a different team. Like, he's just not in the NBA. And it's like, why? Because the guy's offensive game, it should keep him in the league. But for whatever reason, no team is picking him up. And it does, make you wonder, like, what's going on in NBA circles? Like, why are they not giving this guy a chance or whatever the case may be?
Yeah, exactly. Ryan, I'm going to ask you the same question, Ryan, on McBride. Any surprises that you've seen from McBride so far?
Not really. I expected his defense to be top-notch. He's definitely shown that in Summer League. Also, his offensive game, he's shown he can hit the 3. He's doing that in Summer League. I mean, he's pretty much playing like I expected him to play. Maybe the only thing is that I didn't expect him to be like this good off the bat. Maybe I expect him to, maybe, kind of like slowly like, catch his stride, but he's caught his stride in a hurry and he's playing really good. Like maybe that's the only thing I could say, the fact that he's caught on so fast.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna be Ariel. You guys, more specifically, the pull-up threes, the volume of the pull-up threes. Like I didn't expect him to take that many threes, and then be that efficient taking that many threes. Because the thing on him was the mid-range guy. He's a pull-up mid-range guy. So, but it just seemed like it was like happened over and over again. Grimes break down defense, whip it to McBride. McBride step in for three, easy. McBride off the dribble for three, quickly passes on it for three. It's like where did that come? Like I didn't know. Like I knew he shot. You look at his stats. He shot what? I mean, let me pull up his stats right now. Find them real quick. He shot like 40% from three.
He was up there.
Yeah, 41% from three, which is pretty high. But I just did not expect the volume to be that high that I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I will say too, Sims helped them out a lot too. Those screens that Sims were setting, they helped him and Grimes a lot. I tweeted that as well. Sims was setting some good screens for both those guys, and quickly too.
Yeah, and Sims is a guy who's supposed to be working on his screens. Like he was supposed to be like an okay screener. Am I wrong in that assessment? That's what I think I was hearing about him.
He's already a better screener than Mitch. I'll say that.
Well, yeah.
He's already a better screener than Mitch.
For sure.
Taj is probably first on the team, and Sims is probably up there as well. I know Nerlens is definitely the bottom, but Taj is probably the best one if I had to rank him.
Absolutely, Taj is always a beast of screening. Like that, yeah. Taj is just Mr. Fundamental all around. Shout out to my guy Reaper, who is next. I'm gonna bring him in real quick, man. KOT Fave. Let's go. What's going on, Reaper? You are now live on the KOT show.
Yep.
You already know what to do. Hit that KOT live button and hit the watch stream button, and you'll be good to go. But you're a vet, so you already know.
Yeah. Good evening, guys. Thanks for taking my call. How you guys doing?
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
You enjoying these games? We enjoying 104 points from a Knicks Summer League team again. How you scoring 100 points in 40 minutes? Yeah, we just showed you.
Yeah, it's been, it's definitely been pretty impressive, even with this time around with quickly not having a great shooting game, but he made much better decisions today. Felt like, I guess I'm starting to see what you were saying in terms of how he's able to he's been able to really break down the defense a lot and kind of they create some open shots. Although a lot of it is it's on the perimeter, but
right.
But it's still been it's been pretty impressive to see. So, I mean, I still think he's got a long way to go, but sometimes some of the certain parts of the game when he's running it kind of it does feel like the offense tends to stagnate sometimes. But nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah.
But it has been pretty impressive though to see what he did today. Although he didn't shoot very well.
Yeah, 3 of 18 from the field today, 16%. Again, he missed some people. There was especially he was trying to get himself on track. I think in was it third quarter, and he had Obi open a few times right in his favorite spot by that 3-point line, and he chose to chuck the 50-footer, and I was like, quick, man.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely still got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
But it's it's work in progress. I definitely do see why they're basically trying to invest time in in him to see if he can actually become more of a steady point guard or maybe even a starting quality point guard.
Yeah.
But only time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when he gets started, then it's it's a holy crap moment. Because once he starts hitting those long balls, everybody starts to scramble, and then the passing lanes really start to open up wide once people start going. For sure, man.
Yeah. One of the other things I really like about what they've been doing is they haven't been really shutting down their players. I just like the organization as a whole, where they know these guys are young guys that need a lot of reps, so they're not trying to be cute, play the guys for 2 games and then shut them down.
Right.
They're just pretty much showing these guys, you guys need to get out there and work on your game in practice. So that's been really impressive to see. the organization doing that, and then also, and I could definitely see why quickly he's just doing him while he's out there. I think they just gave him the green light to just do whatever he wants to do. Not necessarily do whatever you want to do, but essentially, this is your game. You need to play not just for yourself, but for the rest of
You're
the
breaking up a
team.
little bit.
And so I kind of like the approach to summer league. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, my reception is terrible in the office. Hold on a second. Sorry. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me
you good.
clearly?
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was just saying the organization, their whole approach has been like really, it's been pretty solid and pretty impressive. The fact that they're not just letting the guys or not giving the guys like games off, just making sure that they play and get as much reps as possible. And then the other thing I noticed when I watched the games out there in the summer league, before the games began, if you kind of look at the other teams, is like it's the Knicks routine is like it's a lot more. It seems like it's a lot more coordinated. Most of the teams out there, they just go out there and they're like shooting layups and just shooting jump shots from wherever. And the one thing I noticed, like with most of these teams, they can't shoot at all. A lot of these kids can't shoot. It's pretty crazy. Like even Jalen Green, he's the one kid like for some reason is like, and when he's in games, he's hitting jump shots, but like when they're just practicing, this kid can't even make two in a row.
Oh, that's right, because you was at
And it's
Summer
like,
League. Yeah.
yeah,
You was
a
in
lot of
Vegas.
these kids, yeah, a lot of these kids just can't shoot, and you get some of them that are just gamers, and like once the game is on, they're just hitting everything. But like, but in terms of the Knicks, the way they approach like the pregame warmups is just way more different. It's like it seems like it's a lot more thoughtful and it's like rehearsed in practice. So it's like so it's just different when you see the Knicks. It's just it's almost like you can tell like
Yeah.
what teams take it seriously
Mm-hmm.
and who the good teams are really. And but a lot of the other teams that you can just tell the organization is like it's more like disorganization, and it's like
Yeah. Yeah,
so
man, that's a good. This is one of those insider points you only get from people who are actually in Vegas, man. Yo, thank you, Reaper, for that insight, man. 'Cause I would have known that unless I was there myself. So.
yeah, yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, that's pretty much what I said. And then the other thing was I was actually going to say was the previous caller had a very good point. I've been thinking about this like since summer league. If McBride and and Grimes, if they keep growing, I think Grimes is going to have the same issue once the preseason and regular season starts because the competition is going to be like
Yeah.
the talent level is going to be much higher. So he's gonna take him time to. It's almost like he's gonna have to do it all over again, where he's gonna look horrible,
Yep.
and then he's gonna get more comfortable. And so he just seems like that kind of player.
Yep.
But if both of those guys keep growing, and Thibodeau is like, if you look at the starting lineup or projected starting lineup right now, is like that's not a very good defense, in my opinion. It doesn't look like a very good defensive team.
Nope.
And so at some point, I just think Thibodeau is gonna be. He's going to be looking at the bench and he's going to be like, which one of these kids am I going to want to play because I can't deal with all this, everybody just running to the hoop. So, so I just, I think, I think at some point, the previous caller has a good point. I think, there's a good possibility later on this year or even like next year, I think they may end up moving some of these players. And as crazy as it sounds, it's not just Burks. Even if you look at I think it's either someone like Burks or even like the new guy we signed,
Fournier.
Fournier, yeah. So I think both of them are, in my opinion, because it's like it's going to be kind of difficult to have that lack of defense, And then if you look, RJ Barrett, towards the end of the year, his defense, he was getting torched by everybody. People forget towards the end of the year, RJ Barrett's defense took a huge step backwards. And I mean, even in the playoffs, he was getting cooked by whoever the Hawks basically put on him was basically cooking him. So, so I think people you got to keep that in mind that Thibodeau's going to really, he's going to be really itching to play one of these younger guys. I think because of the defense.
Yeah, I've been saying that every show. I've been saying that he's so used to having a defensive guy in his starting lineup. I fully expect him to at some point to pull his hair out and go, no, you know what? I need to put a defensive stopper here for this amount of time just because that's what I'm used to. So I kind of expect it to happen at some point. I don't know when or what part of the season, but I completely agree with you, man. For sure, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for calling, Reaper, man. Always enjoy your insight.
All right. Okay. Have a good day.
All right. You too. But yes, solid points there from Reaper, man.
Yeah.
Definitely solid. Go ahead.
I'm not as concerned about the defense necessarily. I think in the regular season, at least in the playoffs, I'd be more concerned. But in the regular season, I think what we learned from last year, especially with like Mitch getting hurt and Nerlens taking his spot, is that like Tibbs' scheme is much more about, I guess, the positioning of defenders more than the actual personnel. So yeah, Fournier and Kemba are like a step back defensively, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Tibbs' scheme kind of makes up for it. So while I don't think the Knicks are going to be like top 3 in defense like they were this year,
Right.
maybe they drop back, but maybe it's to like
10.
yeah, like 10, you know, around that number where it's still like, okay, we're still a good defense. And I think even so, you're getting so much more offensive help that it's worth the defensive drop off. Because the offense at times was just ugly and stagnant, and they need that influx of like shot creation that Kemba and Fournier bring.
Yeah, that's a good point too, man. We have Reggie Bullock who's averaging 10 points a game, and you get Fournier in there who's going to average. You can average like 9 more points than he can.
Yeah.
So you know, that's going to be a boost within itself. And we're not even talking about Kemba Walker compared to Elfrid Payton. Like I don't even need to do the math, right?
Yeah.
But like the upside of Kemba Walker in that starting lineup, depending on his health, can be astronomical for us. So you're absolutely right. The offense could just be that much better. And
Mitch is back too.
Oh,
he helps
Mitch.
a lot with the defense. He can make up for a lot of the deficiencies that Kemba and Fournier have. If they just funnel guys into the paint, Mitch can do the rest. So
Exactly.
I think people are gonna really appreciate Mitch this year.
Yeah, and he put on some weight, so maybe he can push back on some of these big boys, like he couldn't do last year. I still remember when we played the Cavs and he was getting bullied around in preseason. He's gotten better as the season went on, but I just look forward to see how he plays with the extra weight that I see him put on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also I want to add one thing about Big Reaper said about IQ playing the point guard. Like I understand, you know, IQ had some moments where, you know, if somebody was open, he didn't pass the ball, look for his own shot. But honestly, in the first half, if you just take the first half in itself, like I think that was some of the best point guard play I've seen from Quickly, even though he wasn't scoring the ball. Some of the plays he was making, some of the passes he was making,
Yeah.
to me was probably the best I've seen him play point guard all summer league.
Yeah, some of those pocket passes on pick and roll was kind of on point. That kind of turned my head a little. I was like, oh, this is a new wrinkle I haven't seen before. Even he was kind of doing some Lonzo Ball-ish full court pass. That full court pass he had to Grimes was pretty crazy too. And even his shooting percentage, when he shot 18 shots today, in the first half of those shots were like bailout shots. The team was like, oh no, there's 3 seconds left. We need somebody else to take the shot. Like first half of those shots, I felt like he took 3 or 4 bailout shots where the team just gave him the ball with 2 or 3 seconds left and was like, do something.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that kind of accounts to some of this bad shot taking, at least in the first half. But overall, 7 assists for Quickly. A mixed bag of the point guard spot. But like I always keep saying, man, I believe in the experimentation of point Quickly just because of what he brings between the long ball and the floater. And if he's able to develop some more point guard skills and it seems like it's coming along, then I'm for a point Quickly experiment for sure.
I got in a lot of arguments over IQ being a point guard.
I seen him.
But yeah, a lot of them. But I guess yes, it's important for a point guard to be able to pass, and I think IQ has the threshold. Like he's at the point where like I think he's a good enough passer where you can rely on him to create. But the value in IQ being a point, the fact that teams have to go from like 30, 35 feet out you saw it in summer league. I mean, it's summer league, but you saw it in summer league how far out teams have to guard them. There's people jumping at pump fakes from 30 feet out.
Exactly.
The kind of pressure that puts on a defense is you can't overstate it. And even if you just, I'm not comparing quickly to these guys, but if you just look at the top 10 or so point guards, how many of them would you even consider a pure point guard? You know, the NBA has kind of changed. The point guard position has evolved.
Right.
It's more important that you can score and create and get shots. It's more about the pressure you put on a defense more so than like the passing necessarily. So I mean, I do understand the concerns with IQ. I'm not saying he's perfect. He still has ways to go, but I think we're overreacting a little bit to his play as a point guard per se.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, man. We've been saying it for every summer league episode this season. Like, listen, man, I know it's not perfect, and I know I criticize the good and the bad with IQ, but there's just so much benefit of having a guy who can pull up from like the logo, and is always going to be a threat from there to just open up everything else for everybody. It just puts so much pressure on the defense to kind of move and react, and those passing lanes and those floater lanes and those alley-oop lanes just become that much more wide open just because he's a threat to hit that consistently and get hot. And I always see, like, even the floater game, I know he takes too many floaters, but that floater game is a perfect complement for alley-oops, man. It's like, it just really is.
Yeah, most definitely. And I just want to throw in this one thing right quick, because remember how we were complaining earlier in the summer league about IQ saying that it seems like when he passes the ball, he only passes to Toppin. But it seems like as summer league went on, like he kind of like formed a rapport with McBride in the backcourt as well. And I saw that he was finding McBride more, and McBride was kind of moving towards the ball, so that quickly could find him.
Good point.
And that's where a lot of McBride's shots came from, where he knocked in the three. It's also like the dynamic between IQ and McBride that developed during summer league.
Yeah, man, the trust started to build after. Look, I think it's funny, those blessing in disguise things, man. He got a groin pull. I don't even know if it's true or not. Maybe they want to see more McBride. I mean, it's conspiracy theory in my mind. But after the groin pull, I think more respect might have happened. He's like, okay, I sat down, I didn't play. They scored 51 points without me. So, you sitting there on the bench watching that might change your mind. That might give them a little bit more trust. You might start to look for guys who can win a game without you on the bench now. He's like, okay, maybe I don't have to be the man. I don't got to be Tupac at the end of the movie. Like, I can just, I don't need to have the juice. Here you go.
The juice.
Yeah, share the juice. Here you go. Here you go, McBride.
Oh, boy.
Here you go, Grimes. Like, that's it, yeah.
One thing, I guess, to me, a little bit, just a quick point, just one thing about IQ that I think was important that we saw this summer league is that there wasn't a high volume of it, but he had a lot of attempts right at the rim, which I think is a huge thing for him, because getting all the way to the basket, if he can get paint touches where you got, both feet, in the restricted area and he's finishing those are the kind of things that'll make his floaters even easier, because not only will it open up lobs, but he'll get his own shot. You want his floater not to be his main diet of shots. You want it to be, the defense is dropping back. Now here's the floater. You want it to be, the counter move, not the move.
Nah, I feel you. Like, the more moves you have in your bag, the less predictable you are, and the more you can get that floater off, man. Absolutely agree. And I did see him get to the line a few times. I actually saw him take 3 jump shots. All right, he took 3 jump mid-rangers. That's progress. That's
those floaters.
And I think he hit 1. I think he's 1 for 3. 1 for 3 on the mid-range jumpers for summer league. Progress, small progress, but it's progress.
It's so hard to be efficient on floaters. Floaters are like the toughest shot in basketball, like in the NBA. It's really hard to be efficient on that.
Very hard, and somehow he found a pocket to be efficient in certain parts of the season, and showed it. His I call quickly. He's kind of like what's the name, like Lollipop Head Light to me.
Lollipop. I'm mad. I know who you're talking about.
And if you laugh, you're going to hell, all of y'all. All right.
Oh man.
I'm gonna see you right there.
Like how does someone look young and old at the same time? I don't get it.
I don't know. All right. I started. My bad. I started to disrespect off. My bad. All right. Next call. JT Redick has been sitting here patiently for like 15 minutes. Shout out to JT Reddick, who's gonna be the next caller. But I like the flow of the conversation. I just had to get that off real quick. All right. So shout out to JT Reddick. He's been watching for a minute, man. Now he's finally about to talk to us, man. Shout out to JT Reddick. You are now live on the KOT show. Make sure you mute your background. Hit that KOT live button 2 times to hear us, and hit join stream or watch stream to hear the commentators in the background as well. All right, JT?
All right. I'm looking for it right now.
Boom, boom. All right. Say something. Say something.
All right, you can?
Yep. Say something, Ryan or Ariel. Can you hear
Yo,
that?
you can hear me?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you guys. I hear y'all.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
All right. Salute. Everybody hit that like button for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, long time fan, been watching since it was the Fantastic Four. Now it's 2, now it's 3. So
Hell yeah. You've been there for the ooh picks, the bruh picks.
exactly, man, for everything, man.
Salute to you, man.
Yeah, been watching when you was with Knicks Fan TV, and I already like you said, a lot of people didn't even know you had your own show. I already knew back when you was doing it on Sundays, and now you got your stuff right here. So just really always supporting.
Salute, man. Following the journey, on all the steps. Salute to you, bro.
Most definite. So it was of course going hit the topic everybody been talking about is IQ, and I think the reason why a lot of us are overreacting with IQ, I'm myself included, is Kimba and D Rose, it's not like those guys are like 25, 26 injury free. We like whatever. We know they got the reins of the future. I think that's kind of what's going on with it. Is everyone's afraid like, what if both of them get hurt and he's got to step up? Is he ready? And of course he's not, because he still has to learn. Because me personally, I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's a combo guard, because you can see he doesn't let the game come to him when he's under the pressure of having to make the decision to make the play, to play make, and then to find his shot. And sometimes from the eye test, I see he looks for his shot a little too much versus trying to figure out how to play make, unless it's something that's obviously open for him.
Right.
So that's kind of my logic with that. So that's why in doing the eye test, I put on the Discord that the eye test, it seemed like McBride is better at letting the game come to him. But sometimes I wonder if that's a fair analysis, because McBride don't have to worry about the ball, the playmaking and all that stuff. So I'm gonna say that I think everyone's more worried about what's gonna happen 2 years from now versus next year, or even next year, in case God forbid Rose and Kemba get hurt. So that's just that. And then also too, with all the talent we have, is like, you don't want McBride and Grimes to have no time at all in the league, and they play in the G League, or they've got real situational minutes, and then they come in and they look trash. Because let's be honest, who can really come off the bench?
Right.
And you have like 4 DNPs, and then you just lighten it up. That's just really unrealistic.
Absolutely. Nah.
Yeah,
A lot of valid points. Anybody want to tackle that?
Yeah, that's why depth matters, because, injuries happen. And the good thing about having depth is that maybe they can help prevent injuries. Like, I can definitely see, like, days where they'll probably sit Kemba or Rose and just give them the day off, maybe on back-to-back. You can do that when you have a McBride ready to step in and he's ready to play, So it's a good thing to have depth. Longer term, it's good to have that problem as well. You want options, and even if they do eventually swing that big trade that I think everybody's kind of expecting to happen at some point, you have the depth where you can trade all those pieces and still have something left over,
Exactly.
So it's a good problem to have.
I think it's a good problem to have. And then with both IQ and McBride, I think they both can flourish with sharing the court with like Randall and RJ, because both of those guys can play make also. So in times they can let the game come to them, because one game that stuck out with me, I cannot remember for the life of me. It was when we were blowing some team, I can't remember. And when they had the situational players come in, they had IQ running the point, and this dude was playing like blacktop man on fire, just shooting up, showing up everything. It's like, dog, you got like almost 30 points. Let Knox eat, let Frank eat.
Yeah, I remember that. These guys
haven't had no time, and IQ just like, nah, it's my show right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's the maturity part that IQ still has to kind of get to, like, hey, that's because me, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, that's kind of the red flag I got off rip when I was like, all right, can he be the point guard of the future? But then I saw it, I was like, man, I don't know, man. He think he AI. He's not. Like, so.
Some of that is valid too. I'll say this though, when IQ plays with Randall in that first unit, do you notice the huge difference?
Oh yeah, because Randall is that OG on the floor. That's like, all right, you're not gonna show out like the way you want to. So
Exactly. That's why when people talk about IQ starting with Randall, I'm not worried because Randall will eat him for brunch, dog. Like he's not going to go.
Randall gonna Oakley him in the locker room if he try to show out too much. So that's kind of why, like I said, people really questioning like if we was a young team with a bunch of rooks, then I was like, okay, we gotta worry about something because he's going, like we see in some leagues what will happen during regular season, but I don't really think that, like I said, that's going to happen during the regular season. And I think McBride is the same, the same way. And also, I think McBride has a bit of a leg up on him on defense because McBride is that pit bull. And like I feel like McBride, if you have both of them on the floor, McBride is going to look at how to make a stop before making a shot, and quickly he's going to look at putting his shot up before making a stop.
Yeah. You want to say something, Ryan?
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with JT. Gotta say, I don't really have anything to really add like that. Like I agree, McBride is a pit bull. Quickly be throwing up shots. I mean, it's evident. We know how these guys play. So I mean,
if Ryan agrees with me, that's the man with the stats and the fact, then I know I'm on to something.
Yeah. And I'll say this, and I said this the last couple of shows too. To me, McBride is the steadier diet of the two. Like you're gonna get less mistakes from McBride, but what quickly does is he opens up things more. Like there's bigger lanes when quickly makes the right play. Like there's more, the defense scrambles harder when quickly makes the right play and starts gets going. So that I'll say that the difference between them. So it really depends on what you want and what you need at some point. Like you can go for the home run with quickly, and you can go for not to say that McBride is a bunt because he's not a bunt. I wouldn't go that far.
Nah, but yeah, quickly he's like a sports car. He's gonna go 0 to 60 quick. McBride, he's gonna ease up and he's gonna get to 60 eventually, but he's gonna get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yo,
I think like as a fan, the pressure is just like because we have such a deep roster that it's like, damn, you want to see both of them flourish, but it's very little room for error for the both of them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. The season will sort itself out. There's gonna be times when they both gonna have to get some time when the injuries come along. But you're right about that. We all worried about that. But this front office is smart, man. They made some smart moves. So I'm glad I don't have to figure this out. I'm glad I just got to talk about it. There's a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for taking my call. Keep doing what y'all doing. I'm gonna keep watching. I'm gonna keep subscribing. I'm gonna keep hitting the like button. I'm gonna keep sharing.
Yo, absolutely, man. Great call, man. Man, JT should have called a long time ago. You a good call, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right. Yo, salute
all right, man. Thanks.
All right. Salute to JT, man. Long time listener. Sound like because we've been doing this how long, Ryan? 2016.
Yeah, since 2016. That team with D Rose, when D Rose was here the first time with Joakim Noah and those guys. That was the first year.
Exactly. When D Rose first came here and Joakim Noah was doing pull-ups on Phil Jackson's arm, that's how long we've been doing it. All right.
It's a long time, man.
Exactly, man. So shout out to the long time listeners and everybody who's rocking. We wasn't even on YouTube then. We was just on SoundCloud. I wasn't even on Twitter. I didn't even know there was a Knicks Twitter then. I was on Instagram dolo, like, oh, this is great. He's on Instagram. Like, there's a whole world over there on Twitter. Look at that. We rocking, man. And salute to everybody in the chat as well, man. Chat is rocking. Shout out to Robert Woodward. Picks for Timmy. Joel J. Shout out to Fritz Alessandro as those holding down. Standing Nowak. Adam Chaplin. And everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. And shout out to Otherwise too, man. All right. Man. This is the wrap up, so I want to make sure I get everybody because it's not going to be like a summer league talk for a second. We got to talk about Obi Toppin a little bit. Obi didn't have his best game today. Let me pull up the stats, but he's been pretty efficient, man. He's been our most. Would you say? I think he's been our best player. He's been our top scorer. Really, he's been averaging over 20 points a game. I think he's the 5th best.
Yeah, he was top
in
5.
League.
Yeah, top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Ryan, let me know, how did you see OB's play this season? How you encouraged by what you've been seeing so far? I know you have, but
yeah, like I've said, OB's improvement during summer league has been really good. In my opinion, I believe he's been the best Knick overall in summer league, and he's shown major improvement in his game. He's definitely worked on his 3 ball. That's evident.
Yeah.
Like I said, the other game, he hit a mid-range jumper, so that's another element of his game. If he can add that to his game as well, that's going to make him even more dangerous. He's always been dangerous attacking the basket, and he's showing that he can score at all three levels, which I think is very important, especially in the Knicks team where he's not going to be able to camp by the basket because you already have Mitch Noel in the team. They're going to take that role, so he's going to have to play some type of stretch role, especially if he's going to get minutes on the team, and he's showing that he has improved his game to the point where he could probably take over that stretch role. And I feel like with his improvement in summer league, Tibbs is going to have to find him minutes this season. He cannot play this guy 10 minutes a game and expect him to be effective. He's shown improvement, so give him more minutes. Try to find more minutes to give him during the season.
Absolutely. I feel like I don't know. He shot bad today, 1 for 4 from 3, but I feel like had to be around like 37% or so from 3. I'm probably like, I feel like he's had more good nights than bad from 3-point land. He had the first night was bad. The second, third, and I feel like the second, third, and fourth night were pretty good. So like, I don't know. I was on the keep shooting camp last season when it came to the threes because I didn't feel like any other way for him to get on the floor. I wavered a little bit in the summer league, but I'm kind of mad at myself for even wavering. Because summer league is for working on your weaknesses. You know what I mean? And any complaints on the way he's shooting three, the volume of threes he's hitting, and just the fact that he's attempting those threes.
I like the OB. I like what we saw from OB in summer league. He showed that he improved his skill set a little bit. Ryan mentioned the pull-up jumper, the 3-point shot looks smoother, quicker. The only concern I have with him right now is sort of his finishing ability in traffic. He's taking off from too far, and he
you read my mind.
Yeah, it's the one thing that I'm it's happening a lot too. It's very frequent. It's not like a 1 or 2 off thing where you're just all right, whatever. But it's and he's jumping off from the free throw line every time trying to dunk on people, and it's leading to these very awkward finishes. And I think that's hurting his field goal percentage for the most part.
I agree.
But yeah, other than that, he's been really good. I think it was good for him to have this because he didn't have it last year, neither did Quickly, because of the pandemic. So it's good for these guys to have a sort of, I don't know what's the word, a place for them to refine their skills against competition they should be dominating and to actually dominate.
Yeah, absolutely, yo. It's funny because when he does jump from too far, he kind of has this he kind of goes to like a finger roll type of deal when he jumps too far.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I mean, you might as well just try to bang it at this point and get the foul.
If he just took one more dribble before he jumped, he'd catch a lot more posters and he'd get better finishes. But he's what it makes him do is he's finishing on the way down instead of finishing at the top of his jump. So it's that's why it's awkward and he's getting blocked. So he's throwing up these shots that kind of have no chance. So it's a small thing, but you'd like to see him fix that.
Yeah, it's like Obi when he jumps from too far. I think in his mind he's like, I'm gonna baptize this dude. When he's actually in the air, he's like, okay, I'm not gonna make it. Now I'm gonna try to switch it, try to lay it up, and then that's when it goes all wrong.
Exactly. Now commit, man.
Yeah, you gotta commit all the way. If I'm gonna baptize this dude, baptize.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Knox caught Ben Simmons. You need to just kind of channel that type of energy. None of that finger roll stuff. Just bang. Just
word
banging on their head, man. But I agree with you on all points from Obi. Definitely has to step in. The Knicks definitely should look to, especially the second unit, man, because sometimes the second unit gets a little dribble heavy. They definitely need to look at giving him the ball on the move a lot more, because it just seems evident whether it's a jump shot or a layup or a three. It seems like whenever he has to step into a shot or move a little bit, he seems way more efficient. He seems like a way more natural moving player than a standstill guy. So hopefully they implement that a little bit more. It might be harder because of the IQ Burks personnel. They're kind of ISO heavy. So, but I hope they definitely take a look at that.
It's gonna be. I'm very interested to see how they find him more minutes if they do, because he can only pretty much play the 4, Tibbs did not want to play him at the 5 last year, and I don't think we're going to see him play the 5 now that Mitch is back. And I don't expect Sims to get minutes early at least, but he's another big option. And clearly Tibbs wants to play centers. He played Norvell Powell over Obi at the 5 at times. So I think the only way he's going to get more minutes is if Randall's minutes are reduced a little bit. He led the league in minutes. So maybe if Randall goes from, I think he was at 38 minutes, give or take. So if he goes from 38 to like 35, that's another, 34, 30, in that general area, I think that's the only real way we'll see Obi get more minutes. But I think he's earned it. I mean, just based off his summer league play. But I mean, I think he can handle it. And I think it'll be better for him. It's tough to come in, play 10 minutes a game and be expected to like produce,
Yeah, man. I think he can handle it too. Like I've been like thinking about the trajectory of him, and I've been talking about eventually having to move him because of that problem, because I feel like he's capped. Yeah. His potential is capped because of Randall. But man, like if he can prolong that as long as possible too, I wouldn't even mind, because I keep saying like when you don't get playing time, you diminish value. And it's like if Obi was to get 30 minutes a game in the NBA, his trade value would be astronomically high. I think people would just be struggling with people are struggling with the thought of trading him now. Even me, and I've been talking about it since last season, especially seeing me.
It's hard to really see. Like, it's kind of unfair to him, but it's hard to see his role long term if he can't play alongside Julius, who is the team's best player. If they can't coexist defensively, or if Tibbs doesn't think they can, then his minutes will forever be capped out at like 15 max, And that's kind of tough on him and the team. I mean, eventually he'll want a bigger role as well. So I don't know. I get your point of eventually he's probably gonna have to be moved, like fairly, which is kind of unfair to him, but it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, because that man needs to fly, man. Like you can't keep this man at 15 a game forever. Yeah. Like, can he be a shot blocking? I don't. That's not his game, really. He's a passing lane guy. He can get you a block every now and again. You don't want him moving on defense. Yeah. You don't want him moving. It's gonna be tough. It's tough. It's an awkward conversation that has to be had at some point. Yeah. It doesn't have to happen yet, but it's gonna have to happen at some point. And I get hate comments on YouTube every time I mention it. I love Obi, man. It's not a hate about it. It's nothing about Obi being bad or nothing. It's just it happens to a bunch of NBA teams when they have multiple players at the similar position who need time. It happens all the time in NBA teams. And,
exactly.
And usually what happens is that guy on the bench, and every situation, the guy on the bench ends up getting moved eventually. In every situation. And then they end up kind of being like a semi-all-star somewhere else. And you're like, why did they move him? He's like...
It just makes sense. I mean, if you can move Obi, not right now, but in general, if you can move Obi, and instead of having a guy who can only play 15 minutes, you can get a guy who can play alongside Julius and can give your team a different look, then it makes sense to make that deal. It's not Obi hate. It's not Obi slander. It's just the reality of the situation. Yeah, exactly.
It's not. Somebody said, I seen somebody, I think it was a Picks for Timmy, says, move Julius to the 3.
Cool. Nah, I don't think you can do that in today's NBA.
Yeah.
It's tough. I see the logic in it, but it's tough.
Yeah, that's what I think I said the same thing. Like he laterally, I feel like he can move his feet enough to handle the 3. He just doesn't like to guard the 3-point line that much. Like he's not a guy who stunts and then recovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly,
which is the reason why putting him at the 3 can hurt us.
Yeah, and plus, to me, Julius Randle doesn't really operate like a true wing anyway. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't operate like a true wing, so I wouldn't feel comfortable putting him out at the wing anyway. So I don't know, I wouldn't be down for that.
Yeah, and I see the confusion too, because even Obi, both Obi and Randle, they kind of do wing-ish things on offense.
Yeah.
So people were like, you know what, put him at the wing. So I get why people say that, because on offense they kind of do wingish stuff. But then on defense, it doesn't really translate. So I get
because
go ahead.
Yeah, because they're not great offensive rebounders or great rim protectors. What it kind of does is it makes them hard fours. They can't really slide up and they can't really slide down. Right. They're more it's better to view them more as big wings, I guess, is a better term. But yeah, it's tough. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry to Don everybody.
Yeah, we're not trying to put your IDs down.
It just is what it is at this point, man. Let's pick it back up, man. We talked about all the fun stuff. We talked about what did we talk? We talked about McBride. We talked about Grimes. Only other player I really want to talk about is Sims. Let's cap it off with Sims. Sims is I've had a brief conversation before the show started about how in the hell is this guy the 58th pick of the draft the way he plays. He had 13 rebounds today. He's a force as a center, and he's just big for no reason, athletic, and it's not like he's super clumsy. Like sometimes what happens is you get these guys who's like, okay, they're athletic, but they can't walk and chew gum. This guy can walk and chew gum a little bit, so like I don't get it. Like you get it?
The only like real like I'm trying to imagine it from like a scout point of view, and if I'm looking at Sims and I looked at his college tape, so I'm trying to imagine what they saw, and I remember watching him immediately, and I'm like, I mean, this guy's a freak athletically. Like, what's the downside? And the only thing I could think of is like the NBA wants shooters at the 5 now for the most part, and I guess he hasn't really shown a shooting ability. He does have some touch though, so I don't know. But I mean, even then, like I don't know, man. I don't know how he fell that far.
It's crazy because when I was doing research on him, and I was like, he even showed like a. I mean, I guess it wasn't efficient enough. It seemed like he showed like a threat of a jump shot, a little bit. In some clips I saw of him.
I didn't see him shoot any shots in college necessarily, but he took a 3 off a pick and pop in summer league, and I was like. I did. You remember that, right? Yeah. And I was like, what the? And like, I made sure, like, was the shot clock running down? And he took it with like 10 seconds left. Like, so I'm not saying he's gonna be a 3-point shooter, but the fact that he took that confidently and it didn't look like awful. Like, it looked like okay, he looked like he can maybe. That's a good sign. And then today, he took a turnaround jumper in the post. I don't know if you guys saw that. I tweeted as soon as I saw it. So I mean, I'm not saying he will develop a jump shot, but you can see the sort of stepping stones to eventually him having one, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like even in the first few games, he hit like the first game he hit a floater in the first game, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, I remember that one.
I was like, where did that come from?
And the sky hook.
And the sky hook.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at his strengths and weaknesses, and it's like does not have offensive game, non-existent post game, and in the first 2 plays he hits a floater and a turnaround over the show. I'm just like, okay, well, he's been working on something in the offseason. It's maybe he's not consistent, but he's working, man. I'll take that for 58th pick.
He clearly has some touch. He has touch, and maybe he doesn't ever get a jump shot, but if he does get like, if he's able to score in that like floater range where he has like a little floater or the hook shot, like that helps too as well. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, like even like exactly, even the foul line, the shot. I'm not sure what his foul line percentage has been this whole summer league. Let's see. Today, well, he shot 2 or 2 today. 2 or 2 today.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know he wasn't great.
He's definitely made more free throws than I think he's missed though, from what I've seen.
Yeah. So someone asked me who's a better shooter, him than Mitch. I mean, small sample size, like going on for summer league, but Sims looks all right now.
Agreed, yeah. Just off summer league and like the touch and it's probably Sims. I don't really know how we can judge that fairly, but
yeah.
The only thing with Mitch is that we've seen Mitch shoot, but it's like practice shots. You know what I mean? Like it's just practice. Like we haven't actually seen Mitch shoot in the game yet. So
yeah, we talking about practice, so I don't know if that counts.
We haven't seen Mitch really take any shots outside the like paint in the NBA, which I mean it's fine because his value is in the paint, but I think just off summer league, you got to say Sims.
Exactly, man. Bring Mitch in summer league so you can take some jumpers. That's that's all I got to say, yo. Salute to the chat, man. Thanks to everybody who's rocking with the KLT show, man. Thanks for everyone who's watching. Like you said, if you want to donate to the KLT show, you can. Give the super chats are available. Also, cash apps and stuff as well. You won't be seeing a lot of live shows in a while, so. Thanks for hanging with us, man. Working on bringing other type of content. I was hoping to have it a little bit faster, but when you're trying to bring things off the ground, things happen sometimes. It doesn't happen as fast as you want. But stay tuned to the KOT show for some off-season content. Hopefully it'll be done as soon as possible. All right. But shout out to everybody who's rocking with us. Shout out to Nick Yak. Mitch 12 points without the ball at 70%. Where's that? Where did that stat come from? Okay.
I think he's talking about his two-point percentage. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
Remember he broke like Wilt's record? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta get your boy picks for Timmy though. He said at one point he thought Sims had a better handle than Grimes.
Listen, man, I was with it. I was concerned. I came on the show and I said I was very concerned about Grimes' handle. The first 2 games, like he was turning the ball over every time he made a move to the basket. It resulted in a turnover for like the first 2 games to me. And I said it on the show, and I was like, I don't think he can go left. I've seen the scouting report that he can't go left. I'm looking at the first 2 games. Every time he's going left, something funky happened. And then right after I said that, he started like driving left and making plays right and doing things better. So I'm glad he's done well for himself, and he's shown a little bit of handle since then. Thank you.
I think Grimes has some handle. He has like the base of a handle that could definitely be improved upon. I think he's just not confident in it like that. Like I think in the first couple games, especially, he would take like a dribble and then pick the ball up right away.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And like the past 2 games, you really saw him he's more free with the ball in his hands now, which is good to see. So I think there's a level he can get to.
See, this is why I like Ariel, because I noticed that too, and I was like, yo, every time he goes left, he picks the ball up, or he tries some turnaround stuff, and he looks a little shaky, or he abandons it and goes right when he doesn't have to go right, and it causes a turnover. So I'm not the only one who noticed that. All right, cool. See, this is why I rock with Ariel, and low key I want to be a video. Low key I wanted to be a video guy. Low key, when KOT first started, I used to launch like games twice before I even aired it. But the more responsibilities I had, the less I was able to do that.
That's dope. Now it's time consuming, man. It's time consuming.
Yeah, but I actually like to watch. I was doing before KOT started. I was doing that, but I don't know why. I had nobody. I just like doing it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. When you watch things twice, you pick up on things that you're like, I didn't even notice that. Like it makes it's a better viewing, not a better viewing experience, but you notice new things. It's cool.
Exactly. You notice little coverage things. You notice what guys have been working on or who've gotten better at. You start to notice. I was obsessive. This is why I even started KOT. But yeah, this is why I'm here, guys. All right, I'm a little bit obsessed. All right, but yo, that is our show. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for Nick's Yak. Yo, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. When the season starts, we're gonna be right back at it. If some big rumor happens, we'll be right back here. It might be quiet. I'm still working on getting some content here in the off season, so please like and subscribe and stay tuned to the KOT show, man. All right. Shout out to everybody who's been rocking with us so far. And yeah, man, that's it. Ariel, I made the graphic with your little Twitter handle on it. I'm pissed that it's not even loading right now. It's making me like, why did I? It was all fancy. It moved. It was cool. It looked like mine and Ryan, but for some reason, it's not really loading and letting you be great. But let them people know where to find you. Maybe you could put it in the chat. Maybe that
yeah.
There you go.
It's just Twitter's just at A Pacheco, Pacheco NBA. At Pacheco, A Pacheco NBA. Yeah.
Because I know you
follow
might
me up, and
yeah, I know Pacheco might be not the easiest to spell off the rip. So
yeah, I know people probably heard that and was like, what?
Exactly.
I understand. Don't worry.
So hold on, me at least do my man a salad and put it into the.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, man. Here we go. Of course, you don't want to. Go ahead, Ryan. Let me know where they find you, sir.
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chillin'.
Sir G is chillin'.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN. You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
All right. Shout out to my guy Ryan G. All right. Oh, you already know the multiple places you can find us. You can find us at thenicoftimeshow.com. That's where you can find the blogs. You can also find these snapbacks, the KOT snapbacks, be at thenicoftimeshow.com. / catalog. You can also find our writings there from our writers at thenickertimeshow.com. Shout out to Mike, shout out to Ken, everybody, all the writers for the KOT show. All right. Also, you can find us on Twitter as well at the KOT show. But you know what? If you're going to follow us on anywhere right now, I'm going to try to push you guys to Instagram because I'm trying to get this. Listen, we've been at 9,700 or whatever followers for a minute. I'm trying to get to that 10K swipe up life on Instagram. All right. So if you really want to support your boy out, like, subscribe to the channel, and definitely follow us on Instagram as well, so you can watch our posts over there. I put the link in the chat. All right. That is our show. All right, we are out of here, and gunshots for you people who I know are like, yo, Jay Ellis, the gunshots at the end. All right, I got the gunshots for you. Some people are like, yo, Jay Ellis, hit the ooh button for us. All right, I got you on the ooh button, and shout out to our favorite guy.
Shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
All right, it's a mess out here. All right, that is our show. We are out of here.